Hello.
So the egg park lots, what is that?
What?
The egg park lots. Are we gonna, is Troy gonna be here to talk about them? Right here.
Do I have the egg park lots on there? Oh, I think we just wanted to talk about, that they're up for lease. There's a for
Oh,
sale sign
okay.
going up, and I wanted to kind of explain to everyone so no one.
Okay, what it is.
That we're not selling the egg park. It's just how a realtor gets
Yeah,
the
yeah.
attention.
Okey dokey.
Yeah. Hi.
No, I'm
You
not.
hear me?
I'm just in a good mood.
Hey, well, it looks like you're in the sunshine.
Oh, hush. We don't wanna see him.
Bad connection.
Yeah.
That's not moving the filter. Can't hear you. Can't hear you.
Oh.
My son called me from Whitehorse yesterday afternoon. It's 71 degrees there and sunshiny and wonderful. It's just-
Beautiful.
Yeah, he's on his way home though, so happy about that.
We had here yet.
71 degrees, yeah.
And sunny, yeah.
Yeah. And today, not so much.
I think it's supposed to be that way this weekend too.
Yeah.
Well, that doesn't hurt my feelings. It was nice last night for the, for the fashion show. It was good.
I feel like it should just rain on weekdays and be sunny.
I agree. I absolutely agree.
I experienced my very first fashion show last night.
Yes. We all tried to get him to model, but he wouldn't do it, so,
My wife was modeling, so
yes, she was.
she made me go.
Any photos?
I don't know if, I didn't take any.
Everybody's walking around with a camera.
I'll find
Well,
out.
you know what, I might have a photo or.
Oh, you've got
Wife
some.
on the
Yeah,
website.
he was taking them of his wife.
I remember running a little story stand at fashion show. And I spaced it.
Okay, where's my gavel?
And I'll see what I have.
Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. Is our mayor on Zoom with us? Okay.
Going to move him over.
Welcome to the October 8th Tenino City Council work session. And, the mayor is on Zoom, so.
Hey there, everybody. Can you hear?
Yeah,
Okay. Y'all, sorry I couldn't be there tonight. I'm in Chelan at the RMSA meeting. Didn't know that this would be coming up, but I just wanted to check in for the work session. We have a few things on there that I think were important for me just to check in with you on. Of course, the one thing is the second reading of tab for amending our budget, which I don't think is any controversy there. Everything's the same on that one as our first reading, so nothing's changed there. The two things that are going to be before you tonight, and sorry this got thrown at us last minute, but there's two resolutions, and this has to do with our finances. The first one is a looking back document because we spent some money out of our utility funds that we're not supposed to do without prior council approval. We have to go back and make that right. So that first one, and it's a big one, $1.3 million that we spent over the last couple of years that we spent out of our utility funds. So we need to pass that tonight and just get it straight with the law that we're required to follow. I told them full amount, probably half is spending that we've done. The other half is because of the ag park. We have to pay up front for the ag park stuff. And so we should be getting probably about half of that amount back from the ag park when we get funding back from the state or grants. So it's not as big as it looks, but still a significant amount of money. But we can't pay our bills until we get this one passed and the next one I'm going to talk about. So I think tonight when you do your meeting, you should pass those before you pass the consent calendar with our bills, because we need to have that, those done before we pay any more bills. The second one on there is kind of a looking forward document, the same situation. Looking at our budget, we're gonna have to withdraw some more funds to keep afloat. So I had to guesstimate on this, so I guesstimated 500,000. Hopefully, we will not have to spend all that. But again, this is a looking forward document to cover expenses coming up until the end of the year and possibly into the first part of next year until we start getting next year's revenue. So again, that one's important because from this point forward, we need to have some money approved to pay our bills until we get things straightened out. So those were the two big ones that I'd appreciate your support. And if you have any questions, I'm more than willing to answer any questions on those.
Does anybody have any questions for the mayor?
No.
I don't think,
Okay.
So, well, we have one question. So why, okay. We have a general fund, right?
what?
That pays the bills?
Maybe Linda can just repeat your question when you have it.
He said we have a general fund, correct?
That pays
We have a
these
general-
bills,
That pays the bills.
right? When we write checks, they come out of the general fund?
Hold on, Dave, you're frozen. Okay.
Uh-oh. Sorry, I'm trying to listen on the phone, so I got it stuck up to my ear. So we have a general fund, yes.
Okay,
We pay our bills.
but we're not able to pay out of the general fund for this stuff?
What do you mean, what stuff?
Well, the bills that the mayor's saying we need this money for. I mean, what are the bills?
To go to the, yes, to help with the budget, help balance the budget, 500,000.
The ones that you see here, the bills that we have to pay this time, they all
Right.
come out of the general fund.
Yeah,
They all come out of the general fund?
yeah.
Yes.
Okay, so this is something that doesn't have anything to do with the bills or the general fund?
The
I'm not-
resolution?
I'm not
The money
understanding.
that he wants to borrow goes into the general fund.
Yeah,
Right.
we're borrowing money essentially from last year that was never moved to put it into the general fund.
Because the general fund doesn't have enough right now,
It didn't last year.
but now it does.
Well, not essentially, because it's really rolling, is what he's saying. It rolled from year after year. As a
Can I
starting.
clarify real quick?
Yep,
So that money, $1.3 million, I mean, it's already been, that is kind of a accounting adjustment we need to make. We're not taking an additional $1.3 million out of any place. We've already taken it out without authorization. So we're not reducing any, on that backward looking document, we're not taking any more money out of any place on that. It's just a matter of, correcting in our accounting system that we've taken that money from our sewer fund, our water fund, and have been using it for the general fund. So no, there's no reduction in the money we have for that backward-looking document.
Okay. Okay, so this is just a bookkeeping.
Yes, yes.
Yeah,
Okay.
essentially, that's what it is
And then the second one is to actually borrow 500,000 from that same water fund.
Right, and they're lined out there where, what funds we're taking it from on the, when you get to the resolution, it will tell you exactly where those monies are coming from on both of them.
They're intergovernmental loans is what they are.
Okay, thank you.
And I talked to Troy about this, and, because I didn't want to just decimate a fund and take everything out of it, you know, if something came up with a sewer, we didn't want the sewer fund with zero balance in it, so I tried to spread it between the different funds to make sure we didn't just take everything out of one.
Okay.
Troy's aware.
I'm sorry.
Okay.
Elaine, did you?
Anything else on that?
I don't think so. Any other questions for the mayor?
I got a question.
Do you want this?
I want it.
The other one I'll speak to just real quickly is the layoff. Hardest thing I've ever done, I think, because I appreciate everybody in the city so much and what they do. These weren't because they were not performing well, or they weren't valued. This is just a part of we got to make cuts, and we're spending more than we're taking in every month. And I'm sorry that I had to do that. I know it's an impact on the people that got laid off and our organization as a whole, but we're going to have to make, it's going to require some tough decisions. So I just wanted to communicate that we did that, and yeah, I don't know if there's any comments or questions on that, but I just wanted to fill you in and let you know that's where we're at with those layoffs. Is there anything else on that list that you needed me to talk about, or?
The building services,
Yeah, I can talk about that.
okay,
We talked today. So one of the people that was laid off was our building services person. We had talked with our contract person before, or right after this happened, and had an agreement that they would be able to cover the credential inspection and everything. Didn't seem to be any problem with anything. Jen and I were both there. Totally. And a couple days later, I got word that they were going to withdraw as our contractor. I don't know what happened. He didn't come and talk to anybody in the city, so I don't know what happened. But so we have now reached out to another building inspector that used to work for the city. He also works for Rainier and Dakota right now. So we reached out to him to see. Hopefully, he's still willing to provide those services for us. And I think Jen's asked for a contract that we can approve to have use them for our building services. So unfortunate, but we did have a backup, at least from this time to go to. So I'm pretty confident when we talked to him that he could provide the services we need. So
but that is not a contract, it's on an as-needed basis, right?
as needed, yes, that's what we talked about. As needed, all will be from fees. We're not paying anything.
Right.
It's all fees for the services provided that the builders pay. So there should be nothing out of our pocket. I mean, I can't say nothing, but basically they work on an as-needed basis and are paid from the fees that the builders pay.
Okay. Anything else on there you wanted him to talk about on the agenda, on the work session agenda? Anything? I'm not hearing anything, Mr. Mayor.
Okay, I was gonna come on there tonight for the memorial wall. We sent it to our lawyer. He did send it back to us with a minor revision, but I don't think we got it soon enough to get on the agenda. But if you want to consider this something that could be done, but we can wait till next time, I guess.
Okay.
I told Frank we would try to get it on tonight, but I'll leave that up to you, what you guys want in direction.
Well, I think, I'm of the belief we have to wait until the attorney has seen it and approved before we do anything, right?
He saw it and sent it back to us. I didn't really even
He
see
did
any
send it
changes on
back
There
to
was
us.
quite a bit of changes. I was gonna edit them tomorrow. They're pretty minor. It's just like the language.
Okay, so we'll do it next meeting.
Okay,
The other thing is the city staff
Okay.
termination.
he just talked about it. Rainey, he just talked about,
Oh, I didn't hear him
Yeah.
say his, okay,
yeah,
gotcha.
Okay, that's all I had. If you have any other questions, throw them at me, but
I don't-
otherwise, I appreciate you filling in for me.
all right. Thank you.
Okay, guys have a great evening.
You too.
Okay, bye.
Maybe we could get Christina up here now.
Kirsten.
Kirsten, excuse me, Kirsten.
I'm sure you're not used to that.
Yes, please.
Do you wanna give an introduction for her so that the people at home, for the people at home, Linda?
This is What's your last name, Kirsten? I don't even know.
Kirsten Peterson.
Kirsten Peterson. This is our new city planner, Kirsten Peterson.
So yeah, I am here to just introduce myself as the new city planner. You guys do contract through SCJ Alliance. And I know for years you had Dan Penrose that served you. He loves Tenino. He had a hard time giving it up, but he has moved on to a different business group. It's called the Cable Propelled Transit Group. So
Oh, really?
we design gondolas, and it's this unique little thing that he's been working on. I've joined SCJ Alliance in May. I'm very excited to be here. I've worked in the public sector for 18 years, so going to work for a consulting firm is a little bit different for me, but I started out in Colorado in a little town of 8,500, but in comparison to Tenino, it's fairly large.
Yeah.
But I worked my way up from the ground floor, you know, taking in all the permits and being the only planner for a long time to advancing as we grew to becoming the department director. And then I went to Ellensburg. I left the state. I was in Ellensburg for 7 years as their community development director. We led the staff of the planners and the building department. A little bit bigger town of 20,000.
Yeah, my sister lives there. My son lives there.
Yeah, I love Ellensburg. It's wonderful. I still have a daughter that lives there. And then I went to Moses Lake for a couple of years, and I was the director of community development for them. But we had hired SCJ Alliance to help us with our writing a new code and doing on-call planning, and an opportunity came up to work for them, and I had a pretty good relationship with them, so I was excited to jump on the opportunity when they had a planning manager position open. So I do lead a team of the planners at SCJ Alliance, but I'm also a project manager, and I'm glad when I can do the on-call planning work, because that's really where my comfort zone is. And I'll say that I'm getting to know the projects here, and I've had to work with Dan a little bit to just kind of get up to speed, but I've had a couple meetings with the mayor and Jen, and talked to Rainey on the phone, and just starting to get to know the project. So I like that I have Dan to just kind of touch base with, but I know that he's going to be transitioning out fully. And anyway, if you have any questions for me, I'm happy to answer them. I'm happy to be here to introduce myself and let folks know that I'm here for them. And I love working with smaller communities, because that's where you get more public
Oh, this is the best
participation.
one, though.
That's what I've heard.
That's why it's called the Great City of Tenino.
Yes, the
That's
great city of
wonderful.
Tenino.
I love it.
Okay.
Don't call it a town, or on the town.
Do you have any questions for me, or any more info you'd like to know about my background? Or no? Okay. All right. Well,
All right.
I look forward to being here at future meetings, and I'm going to be working with the Planning Commission on your comp plan and other tasks. So we'll be seeing you around.
Good.
I'll sit around and listen for a little bit more, but
Okay.
probably not past the work session. So, all
Thank you.
right. Thank you, everyone.
Thank you.
Well, should we do reports, since we don't have anything else to do?
Yeah.
How would you like to give your report, Missy?
Don't think we have nothing to do it.
This is Jessica. She is our park person. Park person. Oh, this is what you want to talk about, right?
I printed out some stuff today. So I just wanted to, I haven't been here in a little while. I have a little packet.
Yeah, you guys should all have one. Did I get
Yeah.
everyone?
Yeah, I think so.
You got the packet. Front page is some numbers from Sportsman. Okay, I thought I could just tell you guys all this stuff, but this is a lot to say. I think it's easier for you to be able to look at it and review it. So Sportsman is our activity registration software that we use for all activities. We used it for anybody who wanted to use a credit card to get into the quarry pool. We use it for all our facilities, camping, all of that. So, it costs us money each year, so I thought it would be good to kind of analyze if it's worthwhile or not. So the totals show on the first column, $53,752 went through Sportsman. And then we back out of that deposits, because we collect deposits and then we refund deposits. And so that's money that we just take and then we send back. So there's that. And then we have our processing fees. We charge a processing fee for folks to use Sportsman because we're charged a processing fee by the credit card company. And so this kind of zeroes that out. And then we also have some instructors that we pay for coming in and doing things like teaching yoga and dance lessons and whatnot. We supported the Stone Carver Guild. That's what the $810 at the top is. And some other educational opportunities that we had. This isn't going to include like all the activities that people registered for through Sportsman that were free. So we did do some history talks, and we did the emergency preparedness workshop, and we just offered those for free as a public service. So the final column shows the revenue. So $35,946 is our revenue at the end of the day through Sportsman. So some of this is fairly passively collected, so I think to me it's worthwhile, but I thought you guys would enjoy seeing the numbers.
Yeah.
There's a few things that didn't go through this, like we don't use our ball fields. We don't reserve them through that. They come into City Hall and pay. They also pay concessions through City Hall. If we rented out the entire campground, in one circumstance, like for the motorcycle club, when they did their thing, they paid at City Hall. So not everything went through this. Of course, all of our admissions into the pool that were cash, which was most of the admissions, would not be accounted for on here. But you can see here, we at least ran through the credit cards for pool was $15,638. So that is not the full number, but kind of nice to look at. So this leads to the next page, which is really just ideas of things that I think we could do that could generate some revenue. So quarry pool rental, some kind of creative ways to use the quarry pool when we've got it all up and going on a Monday or Tuesday. We could possibly host private events there. So say, a corporate party wanted to come and they wanted to rent out just the waiting area. We could do that fairly easily. If they wanted to do the waiting area and the quarry lakeside as well, that would cost a little more because we'd probably want to have a lifeguard or two there for that. Also party pavilions. This is something I wanted to get going this last year, but we didn't get the last pavilion till too late in the season. So that's another little revenue, not a big thing, but you can rent the pavilion and have a birthday party in there. These prices right now are just suggestions. They're not necessarily carved in stone in any way, shape, or form. We talked about having like an adult night, like on a Friday night, opening up the quarry pool, just the waiting area, not the lakeside, and having like karaoke and just an adult night, 21 and over. We wouldn't necessarily provide anything except that they can all hang out and just kind of a fun evening. Evening concerts. We've had the symphony come out before, so it's kind of a neat venue to possibly have shows in the quarry still as it is, put up the way it is.
Well, I know that when the Young at Heart Theater did their performance in that, it was wonderful.
We could still work around the waiting pool and make something like that happen. Doing a tot swim class before opening each day in the summer is another possibility. The quarry lakeside garden, that's kind of what I've taken to calling that natural area that we don't use for swimming at the quarry. Weddings and celebrations. So that area is beautiful and underutilized. And it was a great spot to have a wedding, to do pictures, to have a family reunion. So we're working on some strategies to put in some amenities in that area that could potentially turn it into a nice little earner. And then you can also do packages where you could rent that area and you could rent the lawn outside of it. We could put in a large tent there for should a rainstorm come in or if they want to have a meal there. The quarry house could be rented, which is a great spot for a reception or for the bride to get ready. or anything like that. So there's some pricing ideas there. It wouldn't be as expensive as like a wedding venue elsewhere, because we would not provide full service. We would not provide outdoor chairs and catering and a lot of the things that other places do. I did look around at other cities to see what they charge for their parks. So I looked at Portland, they let you do weddings in their parks. I looked at Tacoma. Those were ones that I could readily find what their prices were. And they are more reasonable, and they don't provide much except for the spot. And they give lots of disclaimers like, dogs could run through your wedding, or you know, you are in a park, so expect the unexpected. Those are some ideas. City hall weddings. We got a nice little spot right over here with a fireplace. So if somebody wanted to have a very small, intimate wedding, this could be a place. We do rent this spot, and we did rent it a couple times this year for baby showers, and people really enjoyed it. But we don't really advertise it that much or push it. So just like marketing that more so that we could possibly get more revenue out of this space. The campground. The campground is, you know, you can see how it did back here on the Sportsman. $2,730. It did okay. You know, it's not like a huge revenue source. And it is a bit to manage. So we have talked about possibly turning it into more of a space that you could rent out to for group camping and reunions. And it's actually very beautiful in there, and it could also be a wedding space. If you go in there with that eye, you can start to see it. The things that would need to happen for that to be a space like that would definitely be that we would have to renovate the restrooms, because they're not great. They're old and breaking a lot. And the parking area could use some work. But I'll get back to that shortly in one of these other pages. There's also the talk of doing this cold plunge thing, which isn't something I'm actively researching, but it is something somebody came to us wanting to use the space for. So that's a possibility for revenue in that area too. So grants for 2025. I just thought I'd go over that really quick. I've applied recently for the Thurston County Heritage Grant for 2025. That'd be $10,000 for the Tickner Schoolhouse to get a new roof. It's kind of reached its age limit, and so we should get that done. And then the RCO COF grant, that's for $500,000 for renovating field number 2 over at the park. We'll find out probably next week where we are in the secondary ranking. There's no match for this grant, just some sweat equity on our part, so we would have to do some work. We ranked number 1 in the first round on this. I really highly doubt we will in the second round, because the second round's a lot harder, but there's a good possibility we could get that grant. Also, at the end of the month, we'll find out if we got the RCO YAF grant. That's for $40,000. And that's for a basketball pickleball court. When you look down, I actually included the ranking on this. We ranked number 3.
Yeah, I see that.
And it shows there what we've requested. This is the only grant I've applied for that actually does have a match. So it's $22,340. I think I have to look up the numbers in Prism, but I think only about 8,000 something was actually cash.
The rest of it's in
The
kind?
rest of it's in kind. So it's not as bad as it looks.
Right.
And a lot of the in kind had to do with cultural resource study, which I got to tell you, that thing is killing us. Cultural resource studies are terrible, but that's my humble opinion. Because this is an area that's been all dug up before, and you have to have somebody, an archaeologist, come in and look it over, which seems silly when the ground has already been
exactly.
disturbed. But so if I can figure out how to not do that study, because we did have kind of a study done in that area, I just have to find out if
You
that
can use that
square
study.
footage is involved in that, then these numbers might come down a little bit. But anyway, it would be a great thing to have basketball and pickleball.
Yes.
But so that would be a grant, though. If we get it, we have to consider whether we want to accept it, because there is a level of match to it. The last one is the WWRP local parks for $500,000. This one would be to remodel that campground bathroom I was talking about before, and the parking lot improvements. In addition to that, it would do phase 1 of the trail project for the Norseman property. So the whole package is that this would be a trailhead restroom and parking for people to use that new
Use the trail.
property. This has been the hardest grant I've ever applied for. It's not been easy.
We're kind of way down there on the list, too.
We're number 35, which is actually middle of the road.
Really?
Yeah, because there was, I think, 64
Yeah.
applicants in this particular category. So we have 18 million ahead of us on this list. There's 45 million available, but there's like 4 other lists for state parks and water access and some other things. And when I did the math, we're actually very close to getting it. So we have to wait and see what they say as far as like
Right.
the final. So the match on this one, the $335,000, that's the Angela J. Bowen Conservancy Foundation. Money provides that match for us, so it doesn't actually cost us anything. If we don't get it, then we go back to the drawing board about having volunteers build trails for us, so we'll figure that out. Okay. Tell me if I'm talking too long, because I can.
No, you're all right.
Okay. The grant progress for our 2024, you can just kind of look this over. The lodging tax grant one is done. The heritage grant, we're going to start working on repointing the steps of the Quarry House on Thursday. Dan Miller will be working on that project. The Port of Olympia Small Cities grant, because of for financial reasons, we're shifting that over to putting in amenities at the Lakeside Garden to do weddings. We can do that with less money, and we can make it very nice. So we're talking about, what would you call that, a pergola?
Yeah.
Yeah, and then I've already put in some planting. We got to put in some steps and a path and some electricity. And then hopefully also purchase a tent. And that would pretty much put together everything we would need there to do the events. I already okayed with the port that this was a shift, and they said it was fine. Park Foundation gave us $1,000 for scholarships. That offset the nature camp, which would have cost more for campers. And then the planning grant is the other big one. That was for $118,000. It needs to wrap up in the next 90 days. So far, as part of this grant, we have restroom plans. So that goes on to the next page. So I'm excited to finally, this is just one page of the whole packet. So this is just a sample of the restroom plans. It's got the full schematics from the architect now. So that's cool. You can see on the back side what generally the building looks like. Have you guys looked at this before at all?
So
Any of
this-
the preliminary plans?
Here, this is the path coming in, and this is the water over here. This is the lake.
Oh, that goes around that curving path
Right.
is, yes. So the top of the page is the park. And from the park, you will be able to go into these 2 family restrooms.
Oh,
So there's gonna
okay.
be a little causeway that goes in there, and you can go in these two family restrooms year-round.
Okay,
So that's a bonus. These are gonna be year-round restrooms.
that would be nice.
And then there's a concession window also facing the park. So like, say, Oregon Trail Days or something, we can rent
Right.
out concessions, or we can run concessions out of there.
Right,
And then, yes, the curved pathway comes in, there's another window where we have ticketing, and then around the other side, there's even another window where we have our own concessions that we did experiment with concessions this year. I think it was for just basically selling chips and ice cream treats. It was pretty successful. I don't have the final numbers on that, but we were definitely in the black on that project. And then we have the restrooms that are accessible from inside the pool, that will provide everything that the health department says we need to have to be able to open the pool. The old restrooms are ADA accessible. We'll leave them as they are. We're gonna leave the showers that have been put in. I'm glad we have these, because we can use these plans to go to funding sources and say, hey, we're shovel ready on this project.
yeah.
We're working on cultural resource, we're working on engineering. It should all be done, hopefully. So that we can say, hey, please fund this project. This project is important because we have a beautiful pool, and the health department requires us to have this facility. So I think we have a good argument for asking for funding for this. Hopefully, we won't have anything built in the next year. So at this point, we have to hope that the health department keeps giving us this provisional okay to open with what we have. But they keep saying things like, it's not ideal. And so we've got to work on finding the funds to make this happen.
Okay,
Any questions about any of it?
no? Anybody have any questions? Thank you, Jessica.
Oh, only one other thing I want to say is I have reduced my hours down
I know,
by a day a week. So I've taken a position at the First Presbyterian Church for quarter time. So I'm excited about that.
good for you.
So still able to do this here
Yeah.
and save you guys a little bit of money.
I have a question. There was something on Facebook about somebody that left a big mess up at the quarry house,
Yes.
and they didn't come back and clean it up. Was it somebody that rented it?
Yes.
So
it
they
was
didn't get their deposit back?
correct, although I have yet to
No. They're not giving back.
No.
Oh.
I'm gonna have to go over and send a text to her right now. I'll call her and explain to her why she's not getting her deposit back. But yes, it was a bit, this is the first time it's been bad enough that we've not
That's,
refunded.
well, if it's bad enough for somebody who's walking their dog to put it on Facebook, it was
Yes.
pretty bad.
It was, and
must have
I
been.
think they did make an effort to clean up inside, but I don't know if she saw what the party had done outside. And then I mopped it again today because the amount of glitter.
Oh, no.
I don't know when
What,
we
did
will
they have
see
a
the end
birthday
of the
party or
glitter.
something? Oh. Must have been an adult birthday party.
No, it was
Sweet
Sweet 15 party.
Oh.
Anyway,
Okay, I was just curious, so, all right, thank you.
Thank you, Jessica. Killing it.
Okay. I didn't get anything from George, did you? Or the EDC, steady, the meeting is the third Friday. Arch Commission, do you have anything? We're having.
a meeting soon.
When is it? I can't remember. It's in October something. I've got it on my calendar.
I have it in my calendar. Don't know how fast I
So
can pull
just
that up.
don't-
But that meeting, we will be doing some visioning for the future of the creative
Yeah,
district.
set at the, it's the 16th.
Yeah, here.
16th at 4 o'clock. Okay. VCB, no library. Civil Service Committee, no report from the Facade Improvement Grant Committee. Finance Committee, we had a meeting and we just talked about the budget amendment. Planning Commission. Public Safety, Public Works, anything from Troy?
Yeah,
Oh, you got the public, I'm
Well-
sorry, go ahead.
it's, we had a meeting with Troy this morning, and they'll do the striping for the new
Right.
on Monday, weather permitting. In October, the bathrooms will be shut down unless it's determined by those that be that it should be open, but it takes a lot of overtime to keep them open.
Yeah.
Cut out camping except for special occasions. They're sweeping the streets once a week. Storm drains are being cleaned and the winterization on all the outdoor waters is being done at this time.
Okay, thank you. Nothing from Rainey, Code
No,
enforcement?
He's just working on getting stuff cleaned up and closed out.
Yeah,
Rainier and Dakota both got notice, that we won't be doing ILA, terminating our ILA with them as well for code enforcement.
clerk treasurer, oh, park specialist, do you have anything?
I have one.
Oh,
Speed.
no, I didn't, park
You said
special,
clerk treasurer.
I know, but,
Oh, sorry, you meant park specialist?
yeah.
Okay.
You know, I didn't say anything about the museum.
Microphone.
So I do want to announce that we're working on a contract for a young lady named Ruth who does research for museums, and she's moved to the area and she was interested in our museum, and she is going to start opening on Saturdays for us because we have been unreliable with volunteer docents. God bless them, they've tried. But
Yeah.
there's some Saturdays where I get a voicemail that says, I drove all the way down from Seattle and I'm at your museum and it's closed. I'm very sorry about that. So that breaks my heart. So we probably have enough to pay her for a year of Saturdays. And while she's there, she'll do, if it's a quiet day and she doesn't get that many visitors, she'll scan pictures and do things that help us because there's a backlog of work there as well.
And when you say pay her, you mean the Historical Society?
The Historical Society is going to pay her on contract.
Good.
Yes. Sorry.
Super.
Museum report, Historical Society.
Thank you.
Not the city.
Thanks, Jessica. Okay, now clerk treasurer.
Jessica also forgot to mention they're doing Christmas at the museum and Santa's going to be there. And it's a really big deal. Santa's going to be in the caboose on December 7th.
Winterfest.
Winterfest at the high school. Yes,
Yeah.
yes. So everybody visit the museum. Clerk treasurer, we had a walkthrough at the egg park on Friday. We went over what needs to be done as far as landscaping. The building is anticipated to be complete next month. And then we'll have a C of O. It doesn't sound like the tenant is probably too big of a hurry. He wants to move in December, obviously, but there's not going to be any holiday events. So we're trying to be realistic about the timeline of it being complete, but it looks great. Budget, we've been working on final details. All the department heads will have a copy of that likely tomorrow. I have an audit meeting scheduled tomorrow with our four-year audit that's still ongoing. So hopefully we'll have a little more realistic timeline on that. And we've been working on grant reimbursements, like Jessica just read a bunch of them to you. A big one on the egg park is coming back to us this week. And that's it.
Okay, the mayor already reported. Be that.
No information at this time. They are doing a drug, drop off your drug and get out of your.
Oh, yeah.
cavity.
Yeah, they do
And I
that.
don't have that date in front of me, but that's something to look for. Happens twice a year, I think, and now's the time to do it. If you
Yep.
want to get that out of your house, or I think even take illicit drugs, no question asked, just getting it out of our community.
Well, I'm glad to hear that. I always save mine up and take them. Okay, Solid Waste Advisory Board.
The work, solar project is progressing. It's with a 2-year agreement on 25 acres. Power purchase agreement, approximately $30,000 per year for the work system. Takes 6 to 9 months for constructions. Had an update on environment and hazardous waste management per state requirement. The last one was done in 2014. Went over the first part of the planning book. The next half will be at the next November 6th meeting. And they're thinking about trying to do a mobile event for hazardous waste items.
Okay, thank you. Tenino School Board.
No report. Next meeting's the 28th.
Okay, TRPC.
At this point of the year, it's all just planning stuff. We went through first readings of a bunch of stuff. After that, it comes to TPB, which is tomorrow morning.
Okay.
For TPB, some of that stuff will be for approval to go back up to TRPC for final approval. One of the things that we need to do is to get a 6-year street plan put together as soon as possible. Last year we didn't, this year we weren't eligible for any funds because of the year before. This next year we'll be eligible for funds, or without a 6-year street plan that's been approved by us.
You just approved one a couple months
Yeah.
ago.
I don't remember seeing it, but in any event, if we approved it, that's good.
Yeah.
We need to start looking at what we can put together, shovel ready, and then apply for.
Okay.
Oh, one other thing is they've been looking at quote unquote major corridors in Thurston County, and South County for 510, 99 Rainier Road was all left out. It's no longer left out.
Yay. Yeah. Good.
At this point, it's one of those things. It's not going to help us get any money for any of those roads, but later on down the road, it's because they're now on that list, they become eligible when funds are there.
Are you here for to give a report?
I was told I can't say one.
Thanks a lot. I was just gonna ask you if you wanted to give us a report.
City's doing great. Police department's doing
There we go. Oh, yeah, yeah. Okay. Thank you very much. No, you already said TPB is tomorrow. You said, yeah, okay. No commissioners here, and we got a couple more months and the legislature's gonna start, then I can start giving my reports then, okay? All right, we've got 15 minutes, everybody, take a little break. Do I have to read all of this whole thing?
I would.
Okay. This is for the 500,000? No, this is the first one.
I have to check for $5.76 for water.
Yeah, you overpaid on, you had a credit still, it sounded like.
Also, it was missed when they closed out.
Yes.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, she just went through and was trying to clean up before year end to make sure there was no more outstandings and you had that.
Okay,
Yeah.
thank you.
I was like, no more credit on John Callahan? It's the end of an era.
It was a nice credit. PSE had to give me back $1,200.
Oh,
Wow.
nice.
Yeah.
Are you sure? It's winning time. Oh, so here will be on. Yeah.
You're welcome.
Thank you.
Did you guys cut the check? Did, don't cut it, just apply it to Lord, just
Wait.
apply it to, Lord.
Was it in vouchers?
Yeah.
Then it's in here. Okay, thank you for your report.
Thanks, Jessica.
Thank you.
Yeah, well, we could get that
So
basketball
place
court.
that and just apply it to
Awesome.
Lord, same address.
Dwayne never
People.
wanted one, and it was
Oh,
always,
really?
No.
yeah.
Well, when I asked the kids,
I mean, they're just gonna have to void it, it's a whole
but
thing.
they
All right.
It's easier for us to just give it to you.
Okay.
That'd be cool.
being able to shoot hoops.
And every time I drive past Rainier, they have the court and they have the pickleball court, and I'm like, wait. Oh.
Well, maybe we can make it happen,
Yeah.
we'll see.
Thanks, Jessica.
Yeah,
You know where that
see you
game
later.
was invented?
Huh?
You know where that game was invented?
Which one? Basketball, pickleball?
Yeah.
When?
Here, State of Washington.
I know it's the, Mr. Lovely, whatever. He declared the state as the official sport for it.
Yeah, because that's where it was developed.
That
There's
kind
some on
of took
Bainbridge
off.
Island.
Excuse me?
Bainbridge Island is
Yeah.
where it's like the home of pickleball.
Yep.
Pickleball just really took off. in
It's
the
really
last few
did.
They
years.
expected the next, within 5 years to be as big as tennis.
Be as big as what?
Tennis.
Oh, yeah.
Whoa.
It will be in the Olympics.
I probably will, they put breakdancing in.
know.
Wow, one of those computers is still working.
I noticed a little bit of it too that you had one.
Yeah.
Did you go to the wedding Saturday?
Yeah.
Mine gave up the ghost real early.
She had good weather.
Yeah. I don't think I had.
Where was it at?
Because they had taken it
Chehalis.
very bad.
Oh, Chehalis.
Yeah, in a barn.
Oh, okay.
It's very country, it's very cute.
Oh. I knew people that were going, but I haven't talked to them,
Yeah.
you know,
It's really cute.
yeah.
You gotta let New York City know more about your state.
The what?
You let New York City know more about your state.
Need a big boy knows more. Oh. Like how much pickleball thing?
So I should do
It's just
them
hectic.
just like this, like you need to.
Yeah.
Yeah, remember, most of the time, when Rebecca comes home,
Okey dokey.
the news is on. When Rebecca goes to work, the news is on. So I think just shift through
And we
all
lost,
kinds of news.
we
and-
lost our audience except for the
Yeah.
police. Maybe he's just, are you working?
Warm in here.
Are you working over there? Is that what you're doing?
We're paying you.
Invisible man.
Hi there. Where are you? Smithers? Oh my gosh. That's a, so you're gonna spend the night there? Okay, I bet, I'm sure. Well, don't be doing that, you know, you're not getting any younger. Smithers, that's Canada, the Yukon still, yeah. British Columbia. Okay, honey, I'm at a council meeting, so. All right, talk to you later, thanks, bye. My boy, he's on his way home from Alaska, moving back. We're hoping for a while, I don't know how long. He can't handle it down here. He hates the crowds of people, you know, and he loves Alaska, so we'll see. He's in Smithers, British Columbia right now.
Oh, he's driving back.
Yeah, his house is on it. He lives in his camper.
Oh, gotcha.
These cheerleaders are so damn cute.
So cute.
They really are. This is Sid.
Oh, yes.
And that looks like Nick. What's her name?
Recitek?
Yeah, that's their daughter. What's her first name? Nevaeh. Nevaeh, aren't they, darling? Yeah, that's Nevaeh, I think. You seen her lift? Have you seen her lift Sage up?
No.
Oh yeah.
Oh.
This is a big sport. What is it, the slap one?
Yeah,
Yeah.
it's getting big too.
Thanks, ma'am.
Stand there, let somebody smack me.
I'd cry. I'd be knocked out, actually.
Yeah. Well, can you email it to myself, but, I don't know, I agree with him. Oh, yeah. That's. That's his email? Send it to, it's all.
Oh my gosh. Is that the far side?
EEV Abe.
I seen one on Facebook the other day that was so funny.
Oh, some of them are just hilarious.
I don't know who puts them out.
I don't either, but they're just. I love Far Side
It
anyway.
was two older ladies. And the one says, I have a tattoo. I have a tattoo. And she says, you do? She says, yeah, now it's a long stem one.
Cool. And that's the
cracked out.
truth.
Yeah,
I've also often
exactly.
said, what are their arms and stuff gonna look like when they're all hanging down?
Oh, yeah.
I know, I know, these kids.
You see these people that are so tattooed.
I know, I was driving down Capitol Way one day, years ago, and I saw, what an attractive young woman this woman was, a red dress, and I thought she had black nylons on. Her legs were completely tattooed. Completely tattooed. Looked just like black nylons, I'm not kidding you a bit.
Yeah. Sometimes you look at it and you think,
Yeah.
why do they do it?
Why do they do it? That's right.
Well, I know my grandkids have tattoo, but not all over. They just
No,
have
my granddaughter's got one on her shoulder.
Yeah, just,
Yeah.
my one grandson, he has one on his arm. But not all over.
2 minutes.
Got the Rochester girls over at Tenino tonight in soccer. And
Soccer?
handball.
Oh, volleyball too.
Yeah.
Oh, good.
There's the Rochester volleyball team, like going 9.
Rochester volleyball is 0 and 9.
Yeah, go back in the 1A league.
Oh, Lord.
They're having a rough time.
Yeah, I guess.
Tenino's having around 500.
I'm curious to see what our guys, the Seahawks, are gonna do Thursday. Playing
I don't
back
think
to
it's
back,
gonna be pretty.
playing Monday, then playing Sunday, then playing Thursday. I don't think
the
it's gonna
Sunday game shows that they're not up to the task.
Oh, Lord, they were awful. They were awful.
The only chance they had was if they were looking past the Giants, the pathetic 1-3 Giants.
Yeah, yeah. Yes, exactly.
And yet they got bullied
Yeah,
in that game.
oh, it was awful,
Yeah.
disgusting.
So
Of course,
if
I
you were
don't,
actually looking past them, they paid their price.
I said
That'll
that-
help them get ready.
I called my cousin and I says, I wanna know, if Geno Smith is 1 in this and 1 in that and 2 in this category, the most of something, I wanna know what those other quarterbacks are doing, because he's awful. He's awful. I mean, they must really be bad, the other quarterbacks, if he is number 1 in certain things. Well, welcome to the October 8th Tenino City Council meeting. Please stand for the flag salute. John?
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
We have an agenda for approval.
Second.
It's been moved and seconded to approve the agenda for the regular meeting of the October 8th, 2024 meeting. Any objections? And all in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Need approval of the minutes from the September 24th, 2024 meeting.
So moved. Second.
It's been moved and seconded to approve the minutes of the meeting. Any discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? We have a consent calendar for September 25th, 2024 through October 8th, 2024, consisting of payroll EFTs in the amount of $36,739.92 and claims checks number 32734 through 32769 and EFTs in the amount of $200,729.76 for a grand total of $237,469.68, and there are no liquor or cannabis licenses. Do I hear a motion?
So moved.
Second.
It's been moved and seconded to approve the consent calendar as presented. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Opposed?
Aye.
And
Until the loan is passed, we don't really have the money to pay it.
But this- the consent
so you're
calendar
not
is all
gonna,
passed,
so you're not going to accept the consent calendar? That's what this is?
That's
Okay.
just
Okay.
that.
Okay, yeah. Okay. We have two resolutions. The first one,
Oh, we forgot public comment.
pardon?
Public comment.
What did I forget? Oh, yeah.
The public comment.
We have no executive session, no presentations, public comments, period number one. Anybody in the audience have a comment? Okay. No old business, new business, the resolutions. So first one is the resolution number 2024-06, the resolution of the City Council of Tenino, Washington, authorizing fiscal year 2023 interfund loan to the general fund. Whereas the general fund 001 was in need of cash at year end, and whereas the City of Tenino made an interfund loan from the water fund, or Fund 401 to the general fund in the amount of $250,000, and whereas the City of Tenino made an interfund loan from the Water Capital Improvement Fund, Fund 402, to the general fund in the amount of $800,000, whereas the City of Tenino made an interfund loan from the Sewer Capital Improvement Fund, Fund 421, in the amount of $200,000, and whereas the City of Tenino made an interfund loan from the Sewer Reserve Fund, Fund 422, in the amount of $50,000. Whereas the City of Tenino desires that all interfund loans be formally and properly recorded and reported to this in the city's financial statements, and whereas there was adequate cash resources available in the Water Fund, Fund 401, Water and Capital Improvement Fund, Fund 402, Sewer Capital Improvement Fund 421, and Sewer Reserve Fund 422 to be lawfully loaned to the general fund. And whereas it is desirable for the city to approve the interfund loan for the Water Fund, Water Capital Improvement Fund, Sewer Capital Improvement Fund, and Sewer Reserve Fund to the general fund, and now therefore be it resolved by the City Council of the City of Tenino as follows, and I've already read you the amounts and where they came from. That loan shall bear interest at a rate equal to the Washington State Treasurer's local government investment pool for a period in which the loan is outstanding. That interest on the loan shall be due at the end of each calendar year which the loan is outstanding. That principal of the loan shall be due as soon as cash is available for repayment, but not later than 3 years after authorization of the loans, or December 31st, 2026.
No problem.
Second.
It's been moved and seconded to accept the resolution number 2024-06. Is there any discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed?
I abstain. I'm sorry, this is over my head. I've got to.
Okay. The next resolution is Resolution 2024-07, a resolution of the City Council of Tenino, Washington, authorizing fiscal year 2024 interfund loan to the general fund. Whereas it is anticipated that the general fund will be in need of cash at the end of the year. Whereas the City of Tenino desires that all interfund loans be formally and properly recorded and reported in the city's financial statements. And whereas there are adequate cash resources available in the Sewer Capital Improvement Fund 421 to be lawfully loaned to the general fund. And whereas the general fund 001 is anticipated to be in need of the cash at the end, at year end, is in temporary need of cash, and this loan is not intended as a permanent diversion of funds from the lending fund. And whereas it is desirable for the city to consider the general fund to be in need of cash at the year end. And now therefore be it resolved by the City Council of the City of Tenino as follows. The following interfund loan is authorized as of December 31st, 2024. Borrowing fund is the general fund at $500,000. The loaning fund is the water fund for $500,000. The loan shall bear interest at a rate equal to Washington State's Treasurer's local government investment pool for the period in which the loan is outstanding. That interest on the loan shall be due at the end of each calendar year which the loan is outstanding. That principal of the loan shall be due as soon as cash is available for repayment, but not later than 3 days after authorization of the loans or December 31st, 2027.
No approval.
Second.
It's been moved and seconded to adopt a resolution 2024-07. Is there any discussion?
Is this a little premature? Aren't we still getting audits that we haven't gotten yet? We're still working on
I would think we are, yes.
what final budget numbers, we have second reading of that as well. Do we know are we sure that this is gonna be enough to cover?
You know, I can't answer that, Jeff. I don't think the mayor.
we will do another.
Yeah, we'll have to do something else if it's not, but
That's what he had said on the.
that's what he was saying.
That he
when he-
hopes that that they don't have to use it all,
Okay,
in which case they'll return it to the water fund.
Okay,
all right.
all in favor?
Aye.
Opposed?
I'll
Okay.
abstain again. I've got to do more research, I'm sorry.
Did we get 2 ayes or was there 3 ayes?
What?
Did we vote?
We all said
Yeah.
aye.
Okay.
Yeah. Okay, this is the budget ordinance.
We got 2.
931, an ordinance for the City of Tenino, Washington, amending the budget for the fiscal year ending December 31, 2024. Whereas on December 12, 2023, the City Council adopted ordinance number 929, adopting the budget for the year 2024. The city needs to adjust for actual figures to several instances where actual revenues and expenditures vary from projected revenues and expenditures, and whereas the city now desires to amend the budget for the year 2024. Now therefore be it ordained and established by the City Council of the City of Tenino, Washington as follows. The clerk treasurer is hereby directed to take the following actions no later than October 13th, 2024. Bring the general fund to the actual starting balance of $393,671.13. Bring the beginning balance of the quarry pool fund 002 to $6,185.07. Bring the city street fund 101 actual beginning balance of minus $213,329.67.
The first 2 were also minuses.
Oh, yes, they were, weren't they?
Yes.
Okay. Bring the special revenue fund 102 actual beginning balance of $59,288.80. Bring the contingency fund 109 actual beginning balance of $94,800.39. Bring the municipal capital improvement fund 310 to actual beginning balance of $99,586.82. Adjust the projected revenues $2,220,344.87 and projected expenditures $2,493,000 $610.26. Bring the water fund actual beginning balance of $329,871.94. Bring the water capital improvement fund actual beginning balance of $1,050,089.51. Bring stormwater fund actual beginning balance $38,128.18. Bring the sewer fund actual beginning balance of $51,374.84. And the sewer capital improvement fund actual beginning balance of $1,221,898.91. Conduct an interfund transfer from the sewer fund 410 to the sewer capital improvement fund 421 in the amount of $363,123.64. Bring the sewer reserve fund 422 to a beginning balance of $136,346.54. Bring the SWWAIP Trust Fund 601 to a minus $26,780.82. This ordinance shall be in full force and effective 5 days from after its passage, approval, and publication as provided by law.
Move approval.
Second.
It's been moved and seconded to pass ordinance number 931. Is there any discussion?
Do you need to redo those first two that were minuses?
Oh, I don't think so. Do I have to read that again?
No.
Jen, do you know? I don't think so.
I think you should just note this is the second reading of this.
And this is the second reading of this ordinance, so it has to be passed tonight. Yes. All in favor?
Aye.
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 Opposed? Okay, good. Okay. What are we doing? Where is this? Well, I guess we have to go to the second public comments, huh? Public comment time. Does anybody want to say anything?
Do you have to read this?
No. No, that's for us. Why would we have to read? That's for us to know. That doesn't need to be read by anybody else. All right, kids, any announcements?
I announced that we're done.
Meeting adjourned.
Non-debatable motion.